Hello loves, welcome to Love What Lack. I'm coming to you with big puss energy today. Never said those words before, but I'm feeling it this week, you know? I am going to toot my own horn. I just want to say that Spotify Wrapped has come around. You would have seen it all over Instagram. And Love What Lack has really pulled out the bag this year. And I'm just celebrating it. I am going to give BPE. I don't even know if it is a thing, but I feel like I'm emulating it today. We've gone up something like 838% streams. Amazing. Plus 500% followers. Like the growth, I'm excited by it. I'm feeling buzzed. I'm feeling like it's only going to get better. I feel like most of my new followers have found me this year. And I'm just thankful to you. I'm very, very thankful. Thanks to everyone that tagged me in their Spotify Wrapped. Coming up as a #1 podcast for you guys, like you a top podcast. Like the one I posted on my Instagram, I was #1 and I think it was Stephen Bartlett that was #2. I was like, thank you. No, honestly, it just makes me feel so good, so happy, so grateful. You've all come through with the nice messages for me this week. And yeah, I just really appreciate it. And it's just made me feel really good and really motivated for next year. Because we know I've fallen off a little bit from, you know, the social media real bubble world this year. And I'm not going to do an end of year episode yet. We can save that for a few weeks because no doubt it's going to get deep. But yeah, happy Tuesday, guys. Big puss energy. We're in December. Let's go. Have I ever done an intro like that before? No. Anyway, let's go straight into this week's story. Okay. I met my husband when I was very young, 16 going on 17. I met him when I went on work experience to the place he worked at. We became friends for about 6 months, and when I was 17, we started dating. He was 8 years older than me, and I was shocked when I found that out because he didn't look that much older at all. Hang on, so how old does that make him? 25? Ooh, quick math from me. 17 to 25? It's giving pedo. It's giving red flag. Just gonna say it. But let's go in with an open mind. Okay, so she says, I looked past it because I liked him so much. He had already gone through his clubbing, drinking and going out phase, and because he wasn't into that, I ended up skipping that whole part of my late teens and early 20s. Yeah, I don't like that. He proposed to me 4 years later, and we bought our first house and got married when I was 22 and had our first child at 23. My parents put 500k towards our renovations. His parents couldn't help because they couldn't afford to. I didn't want help myself, but my parents insisted. Our personalities were very different. I was very outgoing and adventurous, while he was an introvert. My parents actually didn't like him at the beginning because of this, but ultimately they accepted him because I loved him so much. I think for some reason I thought I could never find anyone that would love me as much as he did. Thinking back now, I don't know why I thought like that. I was so young, as if that would ever be the case, but I think I was scared of being alone. Now, I have to say, it's because you're young you feel like that, because when you're young, he's your first love, he's older than you, it's all you know. You haven't even gone out and explored in the world to even see who's there. You haven't gone clubbing, you haven't got drunk, you haven't had any of those people chatting you up. So obviously you're going to feel like, shit, this is the best I can get, and this is the only man ever that's out there for me. And I don't know this, but maybe he was also kind of telling you that, because I went for lunch with my friend the other day and I was talking about my relationships, right? Past relationships. I didn't even know why. I think we were just like making jokes, you know, like how you always talk about situations you've been through and stuff. And for me, right, I consider myself a very drama-free gal. I might be dramatic, but I'm drama-free. Like, there's a big difference. And I consider myself, you know, quite a good judge of character. I don't like arguing. I like calm, cool, collective situations. And I was looking back at, like, some of my exes and my relationships, and I was just laughing. I was like, what was that? But anyway, like, what was I doing? It's weird because even at the time I knew stuff was wrong. And I kind of knew that I was above it, but I still went through it. Very strange behaviour. But what I was going to say is, when I broke up with my first two boyfriends who were controlling, which I'm not saying this guy is, but I don't know, just because he is done with going out doesn't mean you have to be done with going out, does it? Just because you have different interests doesn't really mean anything. He cannot want to go to the club. You still can. So it makes me think maybe he was a little bit controlling. I don't know. But anyway, when I broke up with my first two boyfriends who were controlling, both of them told me, you are never going to find anyone that loves you like I do. You'll never find anyone that has this love for you. And I was like, well, let's hope not. That's the whole point. That is why I'm breaking up with you. Because you love me so much that you wouldn't let me go out anyway. And you wouldn't let me look in a direction without thinking I'm looking at a guy. And so what if I was looking at a guy? I'm sat next to you. Give me a break. Not I ever was, but it's funny because they say that and make you feel like that. And when someone in your mind clicks, you're like, obviously, nobody's going to love me like you. And that's a really good thing. And also, yeah, naive, like she said. Like, when you break up with somebody, sometimes they make you feel like you'll never find anyone else again. And I think what we've all learned, and I don't know why we fear this from breakups, we all know that people fall in love again. Like, it's just a given. People date all the time, and people fall in love. Anyway, that's tangent number 1, guys. I'm sorry. Recap, she was young, he was older, 8 years older. They got together. She hasn't been out anyway. She's missed that whole partying phase of her life. They've got a house, they're married, they've got a child. Her parents have put most of the money towards the house, 500k, which is a lot. They've got very different personalities, but they love each other, and she was scared of being alone. Okay, she said, my parents worked extremely long hours during my whole childhood, and I hardly ever saw them. I hardly had a father figure while I was growing up, and now there was this man paying so much attention to me. I thought I was in love, but really I think I was just caught up in the moment and with all the attention. While we were dating, I paid for most things. Red flag. As he didn't have any savings. I'm sorry, how is somebody that's 8 years older not got enough, as much money as somebody younger who we got with while she was quite literally a teen? You met while you were in job and she was in work experience. So where are your funds, sir? Where are they, please? That's a joke. So, sorry, she paid for everything. Oh, sorry, got ahead of myself there. Let me backtrack. She actually does say, she says, while we were dating, I paid for most things as he didn't have any savings. Whatever he earned went towards his family mortgage. Traditional Korean family. Okay, I stand corrected. I felt this was fine because I loved him and I wasn't fussed about money. I think that's fair enough, because for me, like, I've had the conversation before, family's a big thing, and I really respect if my boyfriend gets on well with his family. If he doesn't, I wouldn't find that good. I find that quite uncomfortable. So I think I would be the same. I would be a little bit annoying, but I'd be like, at least you're not wasting it. Like, you know, people gamble, people drink, people have whatever they do. That's a different thing. Okay. After we got married, I was in charge of all the finances, paying bills, looking after the kids, the house chores, and absolutely everything else. The only thing he ever did was his 9 to 5 and mow the lawn monthly. Wow, okay. He's like, you do absolutely everything, but I draw the line at you getting on that mower. Like, come on now, that's where I draw the line. You can cook, clean, work, run the house, pay the bills, the kids, but mow the lawn, honey, no, I'll do that for you. Oh my God. He would occasionally help with the kids, such as nappy changing and feeding, but I did about 90% of everything that happened within the house. The 10% is mowing the garden. While he was growing up, his mum did everything for him until the moment he moved out. Koreans love to spoil their children and do everything for them, especially for boys. So when he moved out, he felt overwhelmed and didn't know how to do anything. I mean, there's only so much the sympathy can last there, because just learn. What, do you think I knew how to look after myself when I moved out? I was 25 years old. I didn't even know how to cut a mushroom, and that's non-exaggeration. Did I have to Google it once? Yes. I didn't know if I had to peel it or not. Cut a garlic? That wouldn't even have been in my forte of thoughts. It wouldn't even have crossed my mind. I used to burn eggs. I used to boil them, right? I used to put a thing of water to boil and put eggs in, or rice. I'd go in the room, start getting ready, completely forget about it, and come out, smoke alarm, all the water's evaporated, everything's burnt in the bottom of the pan. And I did that a lot. Like, I would ring my mother every time I would put my washing on. Mom, can I wash this with this? What degree should I do this? Like, it used to stress me out. I couldn't take care of myself. I had the life of luxury when I was living with my parents. My mother did everything for me. I didn't have to cook or anything. And I'm going to be honest, until I started getting HelloFresh and Gusto in the last 2 years, I still couldn't cook very well. I could make a curry and that was about it. But I had to learn to survive. You know, I didn't have anybody that would do anything for me. Obviously, people like boyfriends and stuff would cook for me, but I never lived with them. So on the days that they weren't there, I had to cook for myself. You've got to learn. I will say now, I'm a really good cook now. Like, obviously, I can only follow recipes like Gusto, but in the last few months, I've really taken it up a notch, and I'm actually pretty good now. I made a pie yesterday. Anyway, what I'm saying is, you can be used to being spoiled, that's fine, but just teach yourself. Don't allow somebody else to keep doing things for you. Like, are you not embarrassed at that you're not independent at all? It's very silly. She said that she had to learn to be independent from a young age because my parents were never home. I had to learn to cook and clean from 9 years old. Wow. So when I had my own home, I ended up doing everything and didn't complain because that's what I've always done. It's giving therapy because it does show how important your upbringing is to how you manage your relationships. Like, you know, when therapists say that, it's actually true. If that's what you're used to, that's what you're going to do. And if you're used to your parents arguing all the time, that might become normal to you. If you're used to a parent giving the silent treatment, and say every time your mother argued with your father, she would go silent, sit in the room, not talk to anyone, that might become normal for you, and then that's how you deal with stuff. It's very interesting. Okay, she said, we got along well and never fought, but as time went on, I was starting to resent him for leaving me to do everything along with working full time. Fair. Whenever I had kids, I went back to work once they reached 2 months old. Shit, that's soon. By 2014, we had 3 beautiful children, 2 boys and 1 girl. They are the light of my life and what I live for. I think that's another reason why I didn't fight or argue about being tired and fed up all the time, because I was putting up everything for the children. Once my youngest child turned 3, my husband started to distance himself from us. He wouldn't join us for dinner, saying that he's not hungry, and would lock himself up in the computer room and get lost in his games until bedtime. We didn't watch any shows or movies together because he wasn't interested in the same ones as me, and said he would rather play his games. Can never be me. So we hardly ever spoke. The only time we did spend together was when we took the kids out on Sundays, as it was my only day off. That is not okay. We wouldn't have sex for months at a time, and when we eventually did, it was mundane and routine, as if he was just using me to get off and then get it over with. Every so often, I would write letters to him, telling him how lonely and sad I was, and that I needed more help from him with the kids and around the home. I felt through letters I was able to express myself fully without feeling too confrontational. Oh, that's made me sad. I felt like I was constantly drowning. He would change for a week and then go back to his original ways. I would cry to my sister monthly, telling her how unhappy I was and that I wanted to escape from this marriage. This is when I started chatting to a guy I had met at work. He was a maintenance man. Nice. Nice little tool belt, I see. And was funny and charming and gave me so much attention. He was about 6 years younger than me, but we looked around the same age. Okay, she's gone for the cougar vibes now. She's gone from being the young one to being the older one in control, and I like it. After lots of flirting through text, he asked to meet up, but I knew what I was doing was wrong and so didn't take it any further. He also had a long-term girlfriend at the time. Fuck's sake, man. Why? Oh, God. However, I craved attention and felt like I couldn't stop the messaging. Well, I just hope that this boy is going through a similar thing to you, because I can understand why you were doing it, but what's his excuse? He's 6 years younger than you, which I don't know how old you are at this point, 24 maybe? He's a teen? Oh, that might just be the reason, to be fair, he might just be young. Okay, I'll let him off. I was going to say, if you're young, what problems have you got? But yeah, he's just a young old lad. Okay, so she said, however, I craved attention and felt like I couldn't stop the messaging. One day when I got home, my husband was fuming. He asked who this guy was that I was chatting to. I denied everything, only to find out that he'd accidentally found my messages after turning on my old phone and finding that my Facebook Messenger was still logged in on it. He saw all our messages and took screenshots of them and sent them to the guy's girlfriend. The guy I was chatting to told her I was a customer that had a crush on him and nothing more. I was mortified. I can imagine. I told my ex that I was sorry and that it wouldn't happen again and deleted everything in front of him. My ex then became obsessive. He said he forgave me, but he was tracking me everywhere I was going. At the time, I didn't know how he did it, but I later realised he'd used Google Maps to share my location with him. I was doing night classes and I was unaware he would sometimes wait for me outside my uni for me to finish class and then drive home to make sure I wasn't meeting anyone after. I just think even from his point of view, at this point, right, when you found out they've done that, you're upset, fair enough. Rather than talk through why she's done that and come to a conclusion, right, you were lonely, I either have to change that for it to work or I have to leave. He's clearly incapable of changing. It seems very much like this is who he is and what he's grown up with and blah, blah, blah. So leave. Don't stay. The relationship stay exactly the same. The only difference being that you are now crazy. What's the point of putting you through it? Like, at the time that you're using your day to track somebody on Google Maps, hop in your car and wait outside their class. I'm not victim blaming or shaming, but like, at that time for you, don't you just have enough self-respect to think to yourself, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot live my life wondering where my girlfriend is and following her every move. I just think that would be so draining. And if you'd rather spend your time doing that than actually making changes towards the relationship, then there's nothing to save. Like, if your partner and you're going through something bad, right, and if they, rather than spend the time trying to be better, spend the time literally just wasting the time following you around being crazy, what is the point? The relationship is over. I'm sorry, for me, there's no salvaging it after that. What is the point? There was this one time when class finished early, so I went for a walk at the local river. He immediately FaceTimed me. I thought this was weird, as he had never done it before. He asked me where I was, and I said I finished class early, so I went to the river to relax a bit and watch the water. I saw that he was power walking on FaceTime, not the power walk, so I asked him where he was. He said he was coming to meet me. I was so shocked I didn't expect him to be here. When he found me, I acted like everything was normal, but then realised something was sticking out of his pocket. I asked him what it was and he said nothing. When we got home, I asked him again what it was and he had actually brought a small axe with him. I'm sorry, is it better to commit murder than leave your girlfriend? Like, what are we doing here? He said if I was meeting up with someone that he would attack him with it. Again, how is this better than fucking cooking for your kids? In what world has somebody said you're having an emotional affair because you're lonely and because I'm not helping you with the kids and the housework, but rather than help you with that, I'm gonna murder somebody and go to jail? What the hell is wrong? At this point, it was getting too much and was getting so crazy. After a few weeks, things calmed down, and being the compulsive idiot I was, I started chatting to the guy again because he never stopped messaging me. Oh my lord, lovely. We only messaged during work hours. I'm not sure that makes it okay, but I see where you're going with it, okay? After another few weeks passed, my ex asked to see my phone. I refused, but he grabbed it off me and saw the messages again. He started shouting at me and punched holes in the walls and drove off somewhere. He confronted my parents and my sister about the whole situation, making it sound so much worse than it was, and my parents suggested marriage counselling. At the time, I was so over his crazy behaviour, and I thought I've been so unhappy for so long, I don't want to continue with this marriage anymore. I was so miserable, this was my chance to get out. Praise be Lord Jesus above, yes it is. But he was a broken man after this time. Oh God. I suggested that we go to marriage counselling too, not because I wanted to, but because I felt I had to show that I did my part in trying to fix the marriage. He simply said, "Is there any point? Do you want to save the marriage?" I plainly said no. "I've made up my mind, but if counselling will help you, then I'll do it." He said not to bother. In the next couple of weeks, he moved back to his parents' house while I stayed at our home with the kids. He has the kids on Friday till Sunday mornings, and when he had them, I would move out of our family home and stay at my sister's place. Oh my God. Oh, so the kids could always stay in the family home. Wow. That's big, that, isn't it? That's really good. At first, the separation was amicable and everything was fine until it was time to split the assets. I wanted to buy him out so that I could keep the house, but he didn't agree on the price that I offered him, so I had no choice but to sell the home. He wanted way more than what it was worth. Of course he did. Way more than what it was worth for the money that he didn't put into the house. Like, what? After selling the house, I wanted to return the money that my parents initially gave me to help with the house, as it was a gift to me and not to him. But he refused and said the money was given to both of us. Wanker. It was given to us in cash, into our account, so there was no way of proving that the money was from my parents. I was so angry and felt so cheated. My parents helped so much and his parents didn't help at all, and now he wants to steal my parents' hard-earned money. The disgusting thing was, after selling the house, minus the agent fees and paying off the mortgage, he got the exact same amount that I initially offered him for the house. So if he agreed to the initial offer, we wouldn't have had to sell the home and be homeless. We both had to move back in with our parents. That's disgusting because you've got kids. And I just think, don't you get to a point where, yeah, she's cheated on you, like she's obviously done wrong, but you've done very wrong as well. And don't you just think about the kids and you think, why not let the kids stay in that home? That's bad. During the process of my breakup and selling the home, I started meeting people through online dating. Went on a few dates, nothing serious. I hadn't met anyone new since my ex, and the last time that happened I was only 16. Online dating was fun but also tiresome. I went through a promiscuous period, which was great, since the only sex I had in a long time was so boring and scarce. Is it scarce or scarce? I don't know. Somebody will tell me in the comments, I'm sure. I found so many kinks I enjoyed and everything was so new to me. After about 6 months of dating, I saw this really hot guy that I matched with. He lived only 5 minutes away from me, so we chatted. Oh, it's getting juicy, guys. After a few weeks, we decided to meet at the local coffee place. When we met, he took my breath away. He was so gorgeous, like a model, handsome, big and muscular. I was thinking, how could he be interested in me, a single mum of 3? Was he blind? The date was good, nothing special. But as beautiful as he was, I didn't feel a spark and the conversation dried out and we stopped chatting. And that's disappointing. I was expecting some hot sex story then. 6 months passed and out of the blue he messages me and asks if there are any places available for rent. I'm in property rentals. We started chatting again and found out that he actually went to the same gym as me. We met up at the gym and then started talking again. One thing led to another and we ended up hooking up. He told me up front that he only wanted something casual, which I would usually say is a red flag, but he says that was what I wanted at the beginning too. So that's good. Like, if you both know you want something casual, fine. But if you want to get into a relationship with somebody and the first thing they say to you is, I don't, believe them and just believe it's not going to change. This is from my only experience of me telling this to a guy, knowing full well it didn't matter what happened, I would never have ended up with him. So usually I would say just listen to that. She said, that's what I wanted at the beginning too, but once I had a taste of him, I wanted more, thinking, how could I ever let him go? What happened to the dry chat then? I'm guessing that went after you slept together. Maybe the pillow talk was nice. After spending every free moment together, he decided that he didn't want anything casual with me either, as he couldn't stand it if I was going to meet up with other men. Oh my God, somebody that broke the mould. I love that. After 5 months of dating, he was introduced to my children. He loves kids and my kids love him. 4 years later, I am now the happiest I have ever been. I'm sorry, has there ever been a love story that started from two people hooking up and the guy saying, I only want something casual? No, I think this is the first one ever on Love What Luck. We bought our own house. I now run my own business. My partner works full time and I also help him with his side hustle. We're going to get married next year and hopefully have a baby of our own. My ex was truly the best mistake I ever made. If it wasn't for him, then I wouldn't have my 3 amazing kids who make me laugh and bring me so much happiness. And if I didn't go through such a sad, depressing marriage, I wouldn't have met my beautiful and amazing partner. My partner is truly the love of my life and I can't imagine my life any other way. He makes us laugh all the time, he helps me around the house and with the kids. He's become the father to my kids that they never had and they adore him. We have such a bright future. Never did I ever think that my life would be so complete. Mic drop on that happy ending, can I just say? Because that's not how I was expecting it. I knew that you were going to find love again, like you're married to this guy and obviously you feel trapped, but come on. But what was it, 6 months later, you meet the hottest guy you've ever seen, and yeah, okay, it doesn't work out first time round, the chat is dry, which is very interesting, how you're now engaged. But what a turnaround, you end up being with somebody and having like the best life ever. Oh my God, I feel like this is going to give hope to anyone that's listening and they're in a situationship and they're being told over and over again that somebody like the guy or whatever or the girl doesn't want anything serious and they're thinking, but maybe she'll change her mind one day. They're listening to this story and you've given them hope. Whether that's false hope or not, I don't know. I can't take responsibility, but I wish you luck. And if the same thing happens to you, let me know. Because yeah, going back to that story, I've said Ronja before, but I remember saying it to him, thinking that maybe it wasn't true. Like I did like him. And his friend told him, she is never going to be serious about you and you need to cut it off. And he told that to me and I was like, no, I'm just not ready. I'm not ready for a relationship, which I wasn't. But the guy I dated immediately after him, would I have gone to a relationship with him? Yeah. It would have taken me a while. But let's be fair, I never said to him the first time I met him, oh, I'm not looking for anything serious. I wasn't, but I never told him that because he was the type of guy that I could have been like, maybe. What a story, guys. Thank you as always. If you enjoyed the story, please remember to like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, all the good stuff. It helps the podcast get out. It makes my day. It makes my year. You know how grateful I am, and I love hearing that you enjoy it, the messages. I love hearing that the stories help people. So yeah, the more the podcast gets out, then the more stories we can have. And yeah, the Love What Luck crew just keep growing. I feel like we need to have a little name for our groupies. No, like call her daddy as Daddy Gang. We need something like that for Love What Luck. I don't know what yet. Yeah, have a think. What could it be? Lucky Clovers? Is that giving Bring It On though? Is that what they were called? The Clovers? I don't know. Sounds like a cheerleading team. Hi Clovers? No, I don't know. We'll have a think. Anyway, yes, thank you. Leading on from my intro of Big Plus Energy, guys. Be proud of me. I got invited to my first podcast event last night and I'm super grateful because I thought it was going to be full of podcasters. So I got invited by another podcaster that I'd never met and she was celebrating her 1 year anniversary of her podcast. I will link it below if anyone's interested. And I thought that it was just like a blanket invite to all the podcasters in the industry kind of starting out and there was going to be a room full of podcasters. Anyway, invited my friend. She was sick. She pulled out on the morning of, and I was like, can I really do this by myself? Like, turn up into a room full of people? What if they've all got +1s? How am I going to go up and speak to people? It's going to be a very chatty event because we're all podcasters. And, you know, can I do it? But I thought, I've got to push myself to do something like this. And I love the podcast. You know, it's just like my dream and my goal, and like, I was gonna say my baby, but that kind of makes me cringe, but it is honestly something that I think about. I would say it takes about 99% of my thoughts. So why am I gonna pass up the opportunity to meet another podcaster and to like go to this thing? Anyway, I turn up and apart from the podcast who invited me, I am the only other podcaster. She basically said like she'd seen my video, she liked me, she wanted to talk to me, like we spoke about editing and how time consuming it is and how long it takes me to edit and all this stuff. No, it was so nice to meet her, meet other people, and I met so many different people. Everyone was different. I made a friend, guys. I met another Welsh girl and we said we're going to go for coffee. And obviously when I walked in, I was like, this is so overwhelming. I should never have come. Oh my God, I have to go to the bar straight away and get a double vodka soda, which I did. But literally a guy came up to me straight away, not in that type of way, but straight away to chat to me. And I think he was by himself, and he was saying that he's used to going places by himself. And that's basically like how it happened. So then I'm like, okay, let's go down here. And I was walking up to groups of people and introducing myself. And it was a big moment for me. So I'm feeling good. And guess what? Tonight, it's Beyonce Day. You know, I'm the biggest Beyonce fan. Do you know? Maybe not, but you should know. If you're a fan of the podcast, you should know one thing, that my number one love is Beyonce. She's released a new song. Her film is out. And it's Cinema Day, and basically I'm such a Beyonce stan that my best friends, there's 3 of us. It's my best friend and her sister, who obviously is my bestie now as well. The 3 of us are hardcore Beyonce fans since we were teens. We've gone to see every concert together. I went to see an audience with Beyonce on ITV and I actually touched Beyonce's arm. That happened when we were younger. Best day of my life. And we always do it together. Anyway, she's moved to San Diego. Her sister went out to watch the film with her in San Diego. I was like, there's no one else I can go with. I haven't even asked anyone else because I thought if I ask somebody and they don't appreciate it and love it as much as me, it will upset me. I will take it very personally if they say, yeah, it was alright. I'd be like, excuse you, it's the best thing you've ever seen. So anyway, long story short, I'm taking myself to the cinema alone for the first time. I feel really proud of myself. That's 2 back-to-back nights. I'm going out by myself. Can't believe it. So I've conquered the fear, guys. I said months ago, I'm going to have to try and find the exact date of when I said that I'm going to start doing things by myself. And yeah, it might have taken me a while, but I'm doing it. So I'm just really feeling the BPE, the big puss energy. Am I hyper tonight? Maybe. Anyway, so yeah, that's why I've started BPE and I'm ending on it. Oh no, I've got something else to share with you. I forgot. I'll tell you why I forgot, right? Because I thought, keep it light this week, keep it going, fun times. I'm going to ask everybody what are green flags to look out for in a person. And I'm going to be honest with you, we've had quite a slow response. Lots of the responses came from guys, which I think says to me clearly that girls are used to seeing red flags in guys and guys are used to seeing green flags in girls. No, I don't know if that's what it means, but I do think if I put up, tell me your red flags, I'd probably get 3 times more responses. So I am recording before the story's ending because I just wanted to get ahead this week. So if I do have any more, I'm going to share them on my Instagram. I'll keep them and share them when this episode comes out. So I'm at Sadie Maltby and at Love What Lack. And yeah, if I get any more, I'll share them on there. But let's just run through them. Okay, so what are green flags in someone? When a girl has her finances in order. Okay, I hear you. I see that because that also maybe leads on to, you know, there's always a thing where a man has to pay for the meal, like supposedly. And then if the girl can't offer or pay her half or offer to pay for everyone wherever, then I do think that classes as a red flag to guys. Like if he always has to pay for everything, I wouldn't say it's a red flag. I just think it's a little bit rude, to be honest, if you just expect somebody to pay for you all the time without even offering. But maybe that's where he's getting at. And especially if you've got money, yeah, you want to make sure that you're with somebody that can hold their own against you and go to the same place as you and stuff. So fair. Being communicative, very, very important. And I've learned this is important so much in my life, and I would say the last few months, maybe the last years, when I've really put it into play, maybe like the last 2 years, I don't know. I've always known it's important, but I felt like I would still make the mistakes of not communicating how I felt, like with friends, family, wherever. But I feel like now I'm getting older, I don't know if it's a bit of an age thing, I feel like I'm getting out more and communicating more what I want and what I'm thinking, and it's definitely so much better for everyone involved. They don't keep a check on where you are and what you're doing, and don't hide their phone. Yeah, red flag. I used to have an ex that used to ring me 15 times a day. Hey babe, where are you? Oh, what are you doing? And I used to think it was such a sweet thing. Oh my God, he wants to speak to me all the time. No, he is literally just checking up what I was doing, where I'm at, what am I doing, who am I with. It can be disguised as something cute, but it's not. It is a massive red flag. And yeah, somebody to hide their phone, that's obviously a red flag. So basically I've asked for green flags and she's given me the opposite of red flags. Fair. Somebody else a guy said, ambition, humour, being self-aware, and good relationship with parents. I agree with all of those. Those are all red flags. Those are all green flags that I would look for in a guy for sure. And then I think I've literally just got one other one. A green flag in someone is not caring if you have baggage and accepting your past. And I love that. What's that 50 Cent line? Don't get mad at my past, fuck what happened before you. And it's true, because I do think we can get in our heads about pasts and, oh my God. Well, even last week's story with the widow, you know, she was definitely in her head where he's married somebody before, he's been in love before, and you can really overthink that stuff. And obviously that's a completely different situation because it's a widow. But if like your partner is judging you for your past, that's not good. Because one thing you should accept is that everyone's got a past. Everyone was a different person in that relationship. I don't think anyone's the same person in every relationship. Even like friendships, I was talking to my friend the other day and she was saying she has loads of different groups of friends for different things, and I was like, yeah, that's so true. There's only some friends that I asked to the event last night, for example, and there would only be some friends that I would ask tonight, because we have like different sides to us. So you shouldn't judge somebody for something that they've done in the past, especially if, you know, they've changed, or if it's something that you totally don't agree with. Like if they said, oh yeah, I used to do drugs all the time but now I'm clean. If drugs are like a complete no-go, if your brother passed away of a drug overdose, like wherever, and is super triggering to you, then just, you know, accept it and respect them and move on. Don't like stay with somebody and then judge them for their past all the time. That's just not good for either of you. So yeah, we had a few, as I said. I'll share them on my Instagram if I do get any more over the next few hours. Come follow me at Sadie Maltby, at Love What Luck, and thank you so much for listening. And yeah, again guys, I do just feel really, really grateful this week. I feel like I always say on you, but sometimes I don't even think you understand when I do this, I want it to be so big, and I can't even believe that strangers message me. And the podcast is still so tiny. Like on the speck of the podcasting world, it's like that little speck on Horton Years of Who, you know, with all the world people on. It's tiny. But for me, like when I see a stranger message me and say that they love it and they listen every week, you have no idea how it makes me feel. Like I could cry every time I think about it. Honestly, I know I'm unhinged and I'm an emotional person, but I could. It just means a lot. So yeah, I think the Spotify rap today, I was like, yeah, gotta back yourself sometimes. And I feel like I haven't been backing myself on you for a few weeks. I'm really quite harsh on myself. But yeah, when I see that and get your messages, it means a lot. So anyway, yeah, thank you so much for listening. Please remember to follow, subscribe, leave a review, and I'll speak to you next week.